This call is now being recorded.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another live English lesson, which may be the last English lesson for this year. So, as you remember, last time we talked about the future continuous tense. And when we say the future continuous tense, we mean we refer to actions in a progress, right? Again, let us just make a short revision of the future continuous tense. As we said when we were speaking about the present continuous tense and the past continuous tense, when we talk about such a tense, it means that we are talking about an action that is in a progress during a specific period of time. So when we say the future continuous tense, it means that we are talking about an action that we believe it will last for a specific duration of time in the future. We should know this exact time during this exact period of time during which the action will take place. So this is what is meant by the future continuous tense. And we said that concerning the uses, we use the future continuous tense to speak about such actions that we believe it will happen during a specific period of time, a stated period of time in the future. And we also can use the future continuous tense to speak about actions that are the results of a routine. There's a problem. And we can use it in this way. As the result of routines, we can use it instead of the present continuous tense. And we can also use the future continuous tense to speak or to ask politely about some arrangements. If we know that some people are going somewhere to do something, we can ask something from them using the future continuous tense. Like the example that we presented last time, when we said that if we suppose that we are at a restaurant and you know that the waiter is going to the kitchen in a few minutes, so you tell them, are you going to the kitchen? Could you bring me a glass of water, for example? Will you be going to the kitchen? So this is one way of using the future continuous tense to ask politely for something from somebody. And when we talked about the future continuous tense, we talked about types of verbs that cannot be used in the future continuous tense. We said that in English we have what we call action verbs and stative verbs. And what is the difference between them? We said that action verbs refer to the verbs that describe activities, whether they are physical or mental, or like running, thinking, and seeing, eating, and so on. So these are action verbs. We said that in the future continuous tense, we can only use action verbs, but we cannot use stative verbs. And we said that stative verbs refers to states of being, like the verb be or the verb seem or know. We cannot use them in the future continuous tense, right? So this is very important. You should keep it in your mind what type of verbs that can be used with the future continuous tense. And we also studied how to form sentences using the future continuous tense. We said that if we want to form an affirmative sentence in the future continuous tense, we should start by a subject, and then modal verb will, and then we should have the verb be, and then the main verb of the sentence in its ing form, followed by a complement if we have any. And concerning the negative sentence, we said that we can also start it by a subject, and it should be followed by the modal verb will. But after will, we should have the negative article not before verb be, which should be followed by the main verb of the sentence in its ing form. And concerning the interrogative sentence, the yes-no question and the future continuous tense, we said that the sentence should start with will, the modal verb will, and will should be followed by the subject, and then verb be, and then the main verb of the sentence in its ing form, and then a complement. So this is how to form sentences in the future continuous tense. Now, concerning today, we're going to complete the exercises that we started last time, and in addition to that, we're going to study the future perfect tense, which may be the last subject for this year. So let us get started. I think we have done this exercise before, right? I've done this one. I've done this one. And we did this one too, right? So we are only left with this exercise, which we have to read this text. So I'm going to read it, and then you should read it after me. Then we will have some questions. And let's get started. Brad likes to fish. He fishes whenever he can. This weekend, he will be fishing at the lake. It is his favorite place to fish. Mark is Brad's friend. Mark likes to fish too. He also fishes whenever he can. This weekend, he will be fishing at the lake with Brad. They will be camping at the lake all weekend. Mark will be picking up Brad at 8 o'clock Friday night. Brad will be ready when Mark arrives. They will be driving all night before they get to the lake. They are excited about the weekend. Brad and Mark both love to fish. They love to fish together. They will be fishing together for many years. I'm going to read it again. Brad likes to fish. He fishes whenever he can. This weekend, he will be fishing at the lake. It is his favorite place to fish. Mark is Brad's friend. Mark likes to fish too. He also fishes whenever he can. This weekend, he will be fishing at the lake with Brad. They will be camping at the lake all weekend. Mark will be picking up Brad at 8 o'clock Friday night. Brad will be ready when Mark arrives. They will be driving before they get to the lake. They are excited about the weekend. Brad and Mark, they love to fish together. They will be fishing together for many years. Now, who can read it? Mustafa Khalid.
Brad like fish. Brad likes to fish. He fishes whenever he can. This weekend he will be fishing at the lake. It is his favorite place to fish. Mark is Brad's friend. Mark likes to fish too. He also fishes whenever he can. This weekend he will be fishing at the lake with Brad. They will be camping at the lake all weekend. Mark will be picking up Brad at 8 o'clock Friday night. Brad will be ready when Mark arrives. They will be driving all night before they get to the lake. They are excited about the weekend. Brad and Mark both love to fish. They love to fish together. They will be fishing together for many years.
Yes, good. Who else can read it? Who can read this text? This short text? Hanan Ghazwan.
Brad likes to fish. He fishes whenever he can. This weekend he will be fishing at the lake. It is his favorite place to fish. Mark is Brad's friend. Mark likes to fish too. He also fishes whenever he can. This weekend he will be fishing at the lake with Brad. They will be camping at the lake all weekend. Mark will be picking up Brad at 8 o'clock Friday night. Brad will be ready when Mark arrives. They will be driving all night before they get to the lake. They are excited about the weekend. Brad and Mark both love to fish. They love to fish together. They will be fishing together for many years.
Yes, thank you. Do we have another one? Another student, maybe, to read this text? Okay, so this text speaks about Mark and Brad, and we have many sentences, in fact, which are in the in the future continuous tense. So where are these sentences, Mustafa?
He will be fishing at the lake.
Yes, that's right.
First one. Second one. This weekend he will be fishing at the lake with Brad. They
Yes,
will be camping at the lake all weekend.
that's right.
Mark will be picking up board at 8 o'clock. Brad will be ready when Mark arrives. They will be driving all night to get the lake. Brad, fish together. They will be fishing together for many years.
Yes, that's right.
Right now, the first one, what will be happening?
What will be happening? Yes, this is a double-edged question and the future continuous tense. Yes, that's right. But this one that you mentioned is not in the future continuous tense, right? You mentioned it by mistake. Okay, so now we know what's wrong with Brad and Mark. Let us answer these simple questions. I keep telling you that these texts are so important. Now, where will Brad be fishing this weekend? Where will Brad be fishing this weekend? I want a full answer in the future continuous tense. Where will Brad be fishing this weekend? Mustafa?
Brad will be fishing in the lake.
Yes, Brad will be fishing at the lake. Okay, the other question. Who will be fishing with Brad? Who will be fishing with Brad? Mustafa?
Mark, his friend, will be fishing with Brad.
Yes, Mark, Brad's friend, will be fishing with Brad, with him, sorry. And the other question, what else will Brad and Mark be doing at the lake? What else will Brad and Mark be doing at the lake? What else will they be doing? Mustafa again.
They will camping there all the night.
Yes, they will be camping
Yeah.
at the lake all weekend. That's right. And when will Brad be picking up Mark? Or maybe Mark should be picking up Brad, right? Yes. When will Mark be picking up Brad? When will Mark be picking up Brad? What about other students, Mustafa?
Mark will be picking up Brad at 8 o'clock Friday night.
Yes, that's right. And the last one, how long will Brad and Mark be driving before they get to the lake? How long will Brad and Mark be driving before they get to the lake? Hanan?
They will be driving all night before they get to the lake.
Yes, they will be driving all night before they get to the lake. That's right. Now let us move to this other text. It also speaks about the future and how the world will be in 2050. I'm going to read, and I want you to read after me, and then we will check if we have any questions. So I'm going to start reading. Technology is advancing so fast that by the year 2050, who knows what new technologies we have invented? It is quite likely that by 2050, we will have used up most of the Earth's natural resources, and so we will be relying on wind and solar power. As there will be a shortage of energy, it is quite likely that at that time, scientists will be trying to find a way for us to live outside the Earth. Before the end of the next century, it's possible that people will be living in cities on the moon or perhaps in cities on the seabed. By 2050, it's possible that scientists will have already discovered how to cure diseases such as cancer, and due to the advancement of genetic engineering, maybe hereditary diseases passed down from generation to generation will have disappeared forever. It is quite possible that by 2050, life expectancy will have increased to 100, and that we will be enjoying a healthier existence. Another area likely to have been affected by technology in the year 2050 is education. Many students will be studying online again. Technology is advancing so fast that by the year 2050, who knows what new technologies we have invented? It is quite likely that by 2050, we will have used up most of the Earth's natural resources, and so we will be relying on wind and solar power. As there will be a shortage of energy, it's quite likely that at that time scientists will be trying to find a way for us to live outside the Earth. Before the end of the next century, it's possible that people will be living in cities on the moon or perhaps in cities on the seabed. By 2050, it's possible that scientists will have already discovered how to cure diseases such as cancer, and due to the advancement of genetic engineering, maybe hereditary diseases passed down from generation to generation will have disappeared forever. It is quite possible that by 2050, life expectancy will have increased to 100, and that we will be enjoying a healthier existence. Another area likely to have been affected by technology in the year 2050 is education. Many students will be studying online from their homes. Now, who can read this text about the 2050? And this text is important. It's so important. It's very important. I keep telling you that this one is very important. Yalla Mustafa.
Technology is advancing so fast, advancing so fast that by the year 2050, who knows what new technologies we have invented. It is quite likely that by 2050 we will have used up most of the Earth's natural resources, and so we will be relying on wind and solar power, as there will be a shortage of energy. It is quite likely that at that time, scientists will be trying to find a way for us to live outside the Earth before the end of the next century. It's possible that people will be living in cities on the moon, or perhaps in cities on the seabed. By 2050, it's possible that scientists will have already discovered how to cure this disease, such as cancer, and due to the advancement of genetic engineering. Maybe hereditary disease passed down from generation to generation will have disappeared forever. It is quite possible that by 2050 life expectancy will have increased to 105, and that we will be enjoying a healthier existence. Another area likely to have been affected by technology in the year 2050 is education. Many students will be studying online from their homes.
Yes, good. Mustafa, who else? Who else can read this text? This important text? This last text, maybe, that you are going to read, Hanan?
Technology is advancing so fast that by the year 2050, who knows what new technologies we have invented. It is quite likely that by 2050, we will have used up most of the Earth's natural resources, and so we will be relying on wind and solar power. As there will be a short stage of energy, it's quite likely that all that time scientists will be trying to find a way for us to live outside the Earth. Before the end of the next century, it's possible that people will be living in cities on the moon, or perhaps in cities on the seabed. By 2050, it's possible that scientists will have already discovered how to cure diseases such as cancer, and due to advancement of genetic engineering. Maybe dietary diseases passed down from generation to generation will have disappeared forever. It's quite possible that by 2050 life expectancy will have increased to 100, and that will be in enjoying a healthier extents. Another area likely to have been affected by technology in the year 2050 is education. Many students will be studying online from their house.
Yes, that's right. Who else wants to read? No one wants to read, unfortunately. So no one gets the mark. Only Mustafa and Hanan. Okay, so this text contains many sentences in the future, right? So do we have a sentence in the future continuous tense? And where is it? Can you find it? Can you find them? Hanan?
The first one we will have used up.
will have
The
used up.
second,
This is not in the future continuous tense. I'm asking about the future continuous tense.
will be relying on wind.
Yes, we will be
Will
relying on wind and solar power. Yes, that's right.
will be trying.
Yes, this is the second one. Scientists will be trying to find a way for us to live outside.
Will be living.
Yes, people will be living in cities. Yes, that's right, on the moon. And do we have another one?
Be enjoying.
Yes, we will be
One
enjoying.
will be studying. Last one.
Yes, many students will be studying online from their homes. Yes, that's right. We are talking about the year 2050, and now we are in 2021, and we are studying from home, right? Okay, so these are the sentences in the future continuous tense. So what about these other ones? We will have used up most of the Earth's natural resources, and the other ones scientists will have already discovered, and diseases passed from generation to generation will have disappeared, and life expectancy will have increased, and we will no, not this one. So what about these other sentences? What's wrong with them? We will see. Now we're going to study a new topic. Now we finished everything about the future continuous tense, and now let us move to another topic, the last one maybe, which is the future perfect tense. So what is meant by the future perfect tense and when to use it? Do you have any idea? What is meant by the future perfect tense? I believe that you have studied this tense before. So what is meant by the future perfect tense? ايش معنى كلمة future perfect؟ حنان غزوان.
المستقبل التام.
Yes, that's right. So the future perfect tense refers to, in Arabic, المستقبل التام. Okay, when to use it, we will see. Now, let us suppose, before that, let us just make this note, that when we speak about the future perfect tense, it means we are referring to an action that we know it will be completed before some time in the future, before a point of time in the future. يعني بنستخدم الزمن المستقبل التام نستخدمه للتحدث عن حدث معين، عن واقع معينة احنا نعرف انه أو نتوقع يعني انه راح تكون قد اكتملت، او راح يكون هذا الحدث قد اكتمل وتم قبل فترة معينة بالزمن المستقبل. اكو فد نقطة معينة بالزمن بالمستقبل احنا نعرف انه هذا الحدث اللي راح نعبر عنه بالزمن التام راح يكون قد انتهى خلال يعني قبل هذيك النقطة. So like
يعني دكتور هي فترة مستمرة ظلت إلى أن وصلت فترة جديدة بالمستقبل تقف، هذا هو؟
هي ما مستمرة. احنا هسه راح نشوف، احنا نعرف انه مثلا نعبر عنه اكو حدث، اكو مثلا نقطة بالمستقبل، نقطة مثلا فد موقت معين بالمستقبل، زين؟ احنا نقول انه هذا الحدث اللي عم نحكي عليه راح يكون خلص بعد يعني قبل هذيك الفترة ما تجي، تمام؟ هو اثنيناتهم بالمستقبل. مثل the parade will have ended by the time Chester gets out of bed. يعني الاحتفال أو المهرجان هذا راح يكون قد انتهى by the time Chester gets out of bed، يعني قبل ما يعني مع انه بالوقت اللي تشستر راح يقوم من البيت من سريره من النوم راح يكون قد انتهى هذا المهرجان، خلينا نسميه، او الاستعراض. فالاستعراض ينتهي قبل ان يقوم تشستر من منامه، تمام؟ at 8 o'clock I will have left. تكملة يعني هاي جملة أخرى، إنه هسه إحنا مثلا عم نحكي ساعة شخص الساعة 9 الصبح، إحنا ساعة 8 مساء هو مستقبل بالنسبة لنا، تمام؟ واحنا نعتقد انه هذا الحدث انه leaving مثلا حدث المغادرة راح يخلص قبل ان تجي ساعة 8 انه انا قد اكون قد غادرت وانتهى الموضوع. So at 8 o'clock I will have left. يعني ساعة 8 مساء انا اكون قد ذهبت وقد غادرت اصلا يعني. فنستخدمه للتحدث عن حدث بالمستقبل يكون قد انتهى قبل وقت معين ايضا بالمستقبل. Let us suppose this is your friend and her name is Linda, right? Linda is leaving. Linda is leaving today at let us say 8 o'clock. So she has a cat. Linda has a cat and she calls you and she asks you to take care of her cat while she is away. So she tells you and asks you, can you take care of my cat for a few days while I go on a trip? And let us suppose that she is leaving at let us say o'clock afternoon, but unfortunately you are busy at that time, so you tell her, no, that won't work. At 8 o'clock I will have left already. Sorry, this one she will tell you this after you tell her that you are busy at 3 o'clock. So, and you tell her that you will be available at 8 o'clock. But she tells you, no, that won't work. At 8 o'clock I will have left already. فايش معنى الجملة؟ هسه خلينا نحكي بالعربي حتى تكون واضحة. انه هذه تقول لك حتطلب منك انه تراعي او تدير بالك على الكات مالتها. ليش؟ لانه هي راح تغادر. هي راح تغادر ساعة 5 مثلا، فهي أو بعد هذا الوقت، فهي تطلب منك إنه تجي ساعة 3 حتى تشوفك الكات القطة مالتها وشون تدير بالك عليها خلال فترة وجودها بالخارجية. فأنت تقول له أنه أنا راح أكون بيزي ساعة 3 فممكن أجي ساعة 8. فهي ترجع تقول no I won't that won't work. At 8 o'clock I will have left already. يتقول لك لا ما تمشي هالشكل لأنه أنا ساعة 8 اللي أنت اقترحتها راح أكون قد غادرت. So where's the future perfect here when she says no that won't work. At 8 o'clock I will have left already. يعني she will leave before 8 o'clock, right? So here we have a sentence that speaks about an action that will be completed before a stated time in the future. So it tells us that Linda is going to leave for her trip sometime after right now, but before a certain point in the future. واضح ولا عيد؟ Is it clear? Is it clear how to use the future perfect tense? Is it clear?
Clear.
Okay. So again, we say that the future perfect tense speaks about an action in the future that we believe will happen and will be complete before another action in the future or before another point of time in the future, like these sentences. You can call me at work at 8 a.m. I will have arrived at the office by 8. And now you can call me at work at 8 a.m. تقدر تتصل بي ساعة 8 لأنه أنا سوف أكون قد وصلت المكتب يعني من تكون ساعة 8 أنا قبل ساعة 8 أكون قد وصلت للمكتب, right? So we are speaking about an action that will be complete before a specific time in the future. So they will be tired when they arrive. They will not have slept for a long time. Mary won't be at home when you arrive. Another one says, really? Where will she have gone? Again, I keep saying it that the future perfect is used to speak about an action that we know it will be complete before a point of time in the future. Okay. So, as it said here, that concerning the time, the future perfect looks, as it said, it looks back from a particular time. So it's common to have a time phrases in the future perfect tenses. Sometimes we have time phrases. What is meant by time phrase or time phrases? What is meant by phrase? phrase هي عبارة. فبما أنه يعني نحن نستخدم الزمن المستقبل التام للتحدث عن شيء بالمستقبل يكون قد انتهى، وكأنما أنه يعني نشوف المستقبل من نظرة، يعني شلون، من نظرة قد انتهى وخلص. تمام. فبناء على هذا راح أكيد نستخدم time phrases like by 8 هالشكل، هكذا time phrases like by وبعده يجي time أو date أو occasion. هاي ال time phrases جدا مهمة. This is the time phrases that we use with the future perfect tense. When we say time phrases, we mean that those phrases that refer to a specific time, that refer to a point of time that our action will be completed before this point of time. Like what? Like using the preposition by followed by time or date or occasion. Like by 2020, this city will have doubled in size. Right? This is so important. هاي العبارات الوقت اللي نستخدمها بالزمن المستقبل التام، اللي بدايته أولا هاي العبارة اللي نكون عندنا البريبوزيشن حرف الجر by وبعدين أكو بعده إما time أو date. إيش معنى time date؟ إيش الفرق بينهم؟ إيش time وإيش date؟ إيش الأوكيجن؟ حنان؟
التايم الوقت، والديت التاريخ، والأوكيجن المناسبات.
Yes, that's right. So إما يكون عندنا فد عبارة كلمة تشير إلى وقت ساعة مثلا، أو تشير إلى زمن معين مثل السنة أو شهر أو شيء من القبيل، أو ممكن يكون occasion يعني فد مناسبة معينة مثل Christmas. So لما نستخدم هاي العبارة by وبعد هذه، إذن هاي تمثل نقطة بالزمن المستقبل اللي الحدث مالتنا راح يكون قد انتهى قبلها. تمام. So by 2020 this city will have doubled in size. إنه قبل 2020 the city will be doubled in size. يعني لما تجي 2020 السيتي هاي المدينة راح تكون doubled in size. The other one, we'll have finished the building work by next month. So when the next month arrives, everything will be finished. Will you have finished painting the bathroom by Christmas? So I'm wondering if everything will be completed before Christmas, right? So that was the first time phrase that we should care about. The second time phrase that is important in studying the future perfect tense is this one. Is using the preposition in, which should be followed by month, year, or period of time. هاي عبارة الزمن الأخرى اللي نستخدمها أيضا ومهمة باستخدام عند استخدام الزمن المستقبل التام، اللي هي in preposition وبعد اسم شهر مثلا أو سنة أو مدة من الزمن. مثل in June I'll have been out of work for 3 years. In 2020 we'll have been in this house for 7 years. In 3 years we'll have been together for a decade. So this is another time phrase that you should keep in your mind, right? And This is these are, yes, we don't have another one. These are the most important two time phrases that we usually use when we talk about the future perfect tense, right? You should keep them in your mind. Now, how to form a sentence in the future perfect tense? Mustafa?
Subject plus will plus have plus past participle plus complement.
Yes, that's right. So, as your colleague Mustafa says, now we are talking about the affirmative sentence. And when we talk about an affirmative sentence, we, of course, speak about a sentence that starts with a subject. And since we are talking about the future, so it should be followed by will. And then after will, we should have the verb have after will, since we are talking about a perfect tense, type of tense. And then after have, we should have the main verb of the sentence in its past participle form, which may be followed by a complement. So this is how to form an affirmative sentence in the future perfect tense. Subject, modal verb will, then have, then the main verb of the sentence in its past participle form, and then the complement if we have any. إذن هاي طريقة صياغة جملة مثبتة باستخدام الزمن المستقبل التام اللي راح يكون عندنا فاعل وبعدين المودال فيرب will وبعد will لازم يكون عندنا have وبعدين لازم يكون عندنا الفعل الرئيسي للجملة بصيغة التصريف الثالث وبعده لازم يكون عندنا ممكن يكون عندنا تكملة الجملة إذا كان عندنا تكملة الجملة أصلا. Examples: I will have finished this book. You will have studied the English tenses. She will have cooked dinner. He will have arrived. We will have met Julie. It will have stopped raining. They will have left Japan. So as you can see, all of these sentences, all of these affirmative sentences in the future perfect tense, all of them, they start with a subject and then the modal verb will, and we have the verb have, which is followed by the past participle form of the main verb of the sentence of these sentences and the complement sometimes. So can you form such a sentence? Can you form a sentence, an affirmative sentence, and the future perfect tense? So you can give us such a sentence, an example sentence. Who can use this formula to form an affirmative sentence in the future perfect tense? Can't you? Mustafa?
They will have drove all the night.
They will have?
Or driven. They will have driven all the night.
Yes, they will have driven. They will have driven all the night. Now, yes, that's right. Good. Another one, maybe? No one? Okay, so now we are done with the affirmative sentences in the future perfect tense. Now let us speak about the negative sentences in the future perfect tense. So how to form a negative sentence in the future perfect tense, Mustafa?
Subject plus will plus not plus have plus verb with past participle plus complement and full stop.
Yes, that's right. So since we are talking about a negative sentence, of course, we should also start it with a subject, and after the subject, we should have the modal verb will, and after the verb will, we should have the negative article not, which should be followed by have, and then the main verb of the sentence in its past participle form, and then the complement. So this is how to form a negative sentence in the future perfect tense. Subject, will, not, have, past participle form of the main verb of the sentence, and then a complement. And of course, as just like what your colleague said, we should take care of the full stop at the end. إذن هاي طريقة صياغة النيجاتيف سنتنس، الجملة المنفية باستخدام الزمن المستقبل التام. راح تكون أيضا subject فاعل، وبعدين المودال verb will، وبعدين النيجاتيف article أداة النفي not، وبعدين have، وبعدين الفعل الرئيسي للجملة بصيغة التصريف الثالث، وبعدين الكومبلمنت إذا كان عندنا، وطبعا بالتأكيد يكون عندنا full stop في نهاية الجملة مثل ما ذكر زميلكم. So please, again and again, I keep telling you, please pay attention to how to use the negative article. It should be put after will and before have in this tense. Examples: I will not have finished this book. You will not have studied the English tenses. She will not have cooked dinner. He will not have arrived. He will not have met Julie. It will not have stopped raining. They will not have left Japan. See? So these are all sentences, negative sentences in the future perfect tense. Now, can you give us an example of such a negative sentence in the future perfect tense, Mustafa?
We will not have eaten the lunch.
Yes, we will not have eaten the lunch. That's right. Hanan?
She will not written this novel.
This novel?
Yes, this novel.
Yes, so you should say she will not have. She will
Yeah,
not
and
have
she will not have written
written.
this novel.
Okay, yes, that's right. So another one? I don't think there's another one, so because no one is participating. Okay, so these are the negative sentences, examples of negative sentences in the future perfect tense. Now we move to another type, which is the interrogative sentence, the yes-no question in the future perfect tense. Hanan?
will والsubject have والverb in past participle والcomplement والquestion mark.
Yes, that's right. So when we talk about the interrogative sentence, the yes-no question in the future perfect tense, of course, we are talking about a sentence that starts with will, and after will, we should have the subject, and then after the subject, we should have, and then the main verb of the sentence, and then a complement. And at the end, we should always put a question mark. This is very important. I keep telling you because some students keep making such mistakes. إذن هاي كيفية صياغة جملة استفهامية اللي هي yes no question باستخدام الزمن المستقبل التام اللي راح يبدي الجملة راح تبدي ب will، وبعد ال will لازم يكون عندنا subject الفاعل، وبعدين have، وبعدين main verb of the sentence in its past participle form اللي هي الفعل الرئيسي للجملة بصيغة التصريف الثالث، وبعدين ال complement إذا كان يكون عندنا complement، وأيضا بالأخير اللي هي ال question mark علامة الاستفهام اللي هي جدا مهمة. This is so important. So this is how to form a yes no question in the future perfect tense, and these are the examples. Will I have finished writing this book? Will you have studied all the English verb tenses? Will she have graduated? Will he have not Will he have got married? Will it have got colder? Will we have met your boyfriend? Will they have left their jobs? So these are examples of interrogative sentences, examples of yes/no questions in the future perfect tense. So can you give us such an example of an interrogative sentence in the future perfect tense? Mustafa?
Will you have traveled to Japan?
Yes. Will you have traveled to Japan?
Traveled.
Yes.
Traveled.
Yes. Hanan?
Will they have played tennis? Question mark.
Yes. Will they have played tennis? And of course, at the end, we should have a question mark. So now we are done with the future perfect tense, the last topic of this year. We talked about the uses of the future perfect tense. We talked about the time phrases that are so important in the future perfect tense. And we also talked about how to form sentences, how to form affirmative sentences, how to form negative sentences, and how to form interrogative sentences, yes/no questions in the future perfect tense. Now we should turn to the exercises, the thing that I love the most. So let us do these easy exercises about the future perfect tense. Here we have this incomplete sentence. I, by then. So how to complete this sentence? Will be leave, will have left, or will leaving? What should we choose here? Mustafa? Sorry?
I will have left by then.
Yes. I will have left by then. And when we say by then, it means that we are referring to a certain point of time in the future. And maybe this is a response to someone talking to us, for example, and telling us about a specific time in the future. So we say, or for example, I say, I will have left by then. It means that before that time that is mentioned by the other one or the other person, before that, I will leave before that time, right? So another one. Will you by 8 a.m.? Which one should we choose? Hanan?
Will you have arrived by 8 a.m.? Question mark.
Yes. Will you have arrived by 8 a.m.? Again, here we are talking about an action that will be complete before 8 a.m. Will you have arrived by 8 a.m.? That's right. So this is the other one. You the bill by the time the item arrives. You the bill by the time the item arrives. Mustafa, are you raising your hand? No. Now you are raising your hand, Mustafa.
You will have received.
Yes, you will have received the bill by the time the item arrives. It means that the action will be completed before the item arrives, right? So you will have received the bill by the time the item arrives. Other one, Melissa and Mike will be exhausted. They slept for 24 hours. Hanan?
Melissa and Mike will be exhausted. They will not have slept for 24
Hours. Yes, they
hours.
will not have slept for 24 hours. Melissa and Mike will be exhausted. They will not have slept for 24 hours. So the action of not sleeping, will happen, or it will take place before they will be exhausted. And this is again the result. Okay, he will have all about it by Monday. Which one, Mustafa?
Forgotten. He will have forgotten all about it by Monday.
Yes, he will have forgotten all about it by Monday. He will have forgotten all about it by Monday. So he will forget everything before Monday, right? And this one, will you the contracts by Thursday? Hanan.
Will you have mailed the contract by Tuesday, by Thursday?
Yes. Will you have mailed the contracts by Thursday? Pay attention to the time phrases that we are using, and pay attention to how these actions that we are referring, that these actions are completed before this before these points of time mentioned in these sentences. So will you have mailed the contracts by Thursday? The boss, by the time the orders come in. The boss, by the time the orders come in. Which one? The boss will leave. The boss will be left. The boss will have left. Which one, Mustafa?
The boss will have left by the time the orders come in.
Yes, the boss will have left by the time the orders come in. That's right. Where, gone. Which one? Hanan?
Where will she have gone? The question mark.
Yes, exactly. Where will she have gone? Where will she have gone? And this one, September works for us. September works for us. Lisa will not buy then. Hanan?
September works for us. Lisa will not have graduated by then.
Yes, Lisa will not have graduated by then. I will let you in. I with the keys by the time you come in. Mustafa?
I will have arrived with the keys by the time you
Yes.
come.
Yes, I will let you in. I will have arrived with the keys by the time you come in. Now we have these sentences, these incomplete sentences, and we have these words. We should put them in these sentences depending on the meaning, and of course form them in the future perfect tense. So we have lose, memorize, finish, write, and visit. What is meant by lose, Mustafa?
يخسر.
Yes. And what is meant by memorize, the second one?
ذكريات.
Memorize as a verb. دي كان memories. احنا هاي كلها أفعال. Memorize means يحفظ. تمام، يحفظ فد شيء. Finish, we know, finish معناه ينتهي. Write يكتب. Visit يزور. تمام. So we have to put these words in these sentences, but we have to put them according to the meaning, and we have to put them in the future perfect tense. So the first one, the report by tomorrow. What should we put here? This is a question. This is a yes/no question, and we are talking about a report. So what is meant by a report? إيش معنى كلمة report؟ مصطفى؟
تقرير.
Okay, so إيش يصير بالتقرير؟ إما كلمة رقم معنا من ناحية المعنى إيش لازم نقول؟ هذا السؤال yes no question interrogative sentence in the future perfect tense. فعندنا فرع you بعدين the report by tomorrow إيش لازم نقول؟ Will you have written the report by tomorrow, right? In write يكتب احنا نحكي عن report. ف will you have written the report by tomorrow, right? Will you have written the report by tomorrow? The second one. Bob's going on a world tour next year. By December, 6 countries. So we are talking about Bob who's making a world tour. And we are talking about countries. Hanan?
He visits 6 countries.
Yes, and I want you to form a sentence in the future perfect tense. So you should say
He will have visited 6 countries.
yes. So Bob's going on a world tour next year. By December, he will have visited 6 countries. That's right. The third one, I'm going on a diet. By this time next month, 5 kilograms. Mustafa?
I will have lost 5 kilograms.
Yes, that's right. I'm going on a diet. By this time next month, I will have lost 5 kilograms. Number 4, when you come to class next week, you this grammar. إيش معنى grammar؟ grammar يعني نحو قواعد. So when you come to class next week, Mustafa?
Will you have studied this grammar?
Yes, but we don't have the verb study here. You see, we have lose, memorize, finish, write, and visit. So what should we choose?
Memorize.
Yes, that's right. So what should the sentence be? What should the sentence say? When you come to class next week, Mustafa?
When you come to class next week, will you have memorized the grammar?
Yes, will you have memorized this grammar? Because memorize should be put in its past participle form. And the past participle form of this verb, which is a regular verb, it is memorized. We only add D. So, will you have memorized this grammar? Yes. The last one. The movie starts at 6 o'clock. It by 8. Mustafa?
It will have finished by 8.
Yes. The movie starts at 6 o'clock. It will have finished by 8. That's right. And we finished everything about the future perfect tense. And it says more exercises, but unfortunately we don't have time for more exercises. And that's it about the future